In speaking today, I am hoping to educate, inform, and hopefully prevent cervical cancer. There are two vaccines, Cervarix and Gardasil, that according to the manufacturers, many doctors and scientists help to prevent certain types of human papillomavirus. According to the National Cancer Institute, human papillomavirus, or HPV, is the leading cause of cervical cancer. In 2007, the Center for Disease Control estimated that 12,000 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer each year in the United States. Most of these cases are caused by the high-risk strains of HPV that the vaccine was formulated to prevent. Gardasil is now one of the vaccines required by law for school-age girls in Virginia, the very state we live in. If a girl is not vaccinated, then she cannot attend a public school. The lawmakers of this state realize the importance of it in this medical breakthrough. If and I hope that my audience will share the same viewpoint after I've said my piece. HPV is the most commonly sexually transmitted disease among the world's population, says the National Cancer Institute and the CDC. The disease runs rampant because the symptoms are painless. Not all strains cause warts, and someone can walk through their entire life and not know that they have it. In 2009, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services approximated that 20 million Americans from ages 15 to 49 have some form of human papillomavirus, and about 50% of sexually active people have been infected with the disease at one point in their lives. HPV is a virus. That means there is no cure. The virus is transmitted through all sexual contact. There are more than 100 different strains and variations, and each strain does different things to the body. Some do nothing, some cause warts, several strains develop into cancer. Both men and women of all ages can get the virus due to the fact that it is highly contagious. The use of condoms helps, however. The CDC states that the virus can be spread to areas of the body not protected by a condom. The HPV vaccine is formulated to help the body develop antibodies to fight off the most harmful strains of the disease. A test called a pap smear is recommended by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and it can detect the presence of HPV. Performed along with your yearly gynecological exam, the pap test is a small scraping of cells from the surface of the cervix. The sample is placed under a microscope and abnormal cells can be detected. During your yearly exam is the perfect time to discuss with your doctor about receiving the HPV vaccine. Gardasil, one of the two vaccines approved by the FDA, protects women against the most dangerous strains of HPV. The official website for Merck, the company that makes the vaccine, says that it is effective against HPV 6, 11, 16, and 18. These strains have been found to be the ones most likely to develop into cancer. HPV is not just linked to cervical cancer. It can also cause cancer of the anus, vulva, vagina, and the penis. Yes, you did hear correctly. Guys can get cancer as well if they are infected with HPV. As I stated before, there are two approved vaccines on the market, Gardasil and Cervarix. Both follow the same guidelines as to administration and age protocols. The Gardasil website suggests that the three-part vaccine be administered to girls 11 and 12, but they can be given to girls as young as 9 and women up to the age of 26. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says that the vaccine is most effective if administered before the first sexual contact, but can still be effective in sexually active people. Receiving the vaccine is just like being given any other normal vaccine. I should know. I received my series of shots in 2005. The risks are that of any other vaccine on the market: allergic reaction, fever, chills, nausea, and vomiting. I experienced a pretty sore arm for about 2 days after the shot, which is normal as well, according to my doctor. Nothing that can't be fixed by Tylenol or Motrin. The vaccines have been proven safe and effective by the FDA, as stated on the CDC website. There has been a lot of resistance toward this vaccine because some people are afraid that it has not been around long enough to know the long-term effects. The CDC says that no serious problems with the vaccine have been observed so far, and the safety is being continuously monitored. So far, risks are that of any other routine vaccines administered for normal childhood checkups. Some individuals also feel that if they have their children vaccinated, then that will encourage them to engage in sex. I don't really have agreement with this. All I have to say is that people that receive the tetanus vaccine don't run through fields of rusty nails barefooted just because they were vaccinated against it. Being vaccinated doesn't mean that a person is going to feel it as if they're invincible, and it surely doesn't mean that they will feel the need to engage in the behavior that would put them at risk. As a matter of fact, in Virginia, the code section 32.1-46 states that girls entering the 6th grade must be administered at least the first dose of the HPV vaccine, and that the rest of the series must be administered for the child to continue to attend any public, private school, child care center, or any other institution where exposure to other children is expected. A vaccine for men is in the works, but is still not ready for human testing. Insurance paid for my vaccinations, and from what I have found, most companies have now included Gardasil and Cervix into their healthcare plans for routine vaccinations. In conclusion, I hope that I have conveyed the importance of having yourself or the young women in your lives vaccinated. Most people have no idea how much of an epidemic HPV and cervical cancer have become. We have been given new weapons in these vaccines, and together with education, we can start preventing the disease instead of having to work so hard to fight it. Shut up!